Hi, I'm Cash, and welcome to Cash Talks Football, where I break down all the goals scored in the Premier League using my over 20 plus years coaching experience. I like to give you tips and insights, maybe to become a better player or a better coach yourself. Right now, I'm looking at Arsenal against Wolves, and I'm going to show you this first goal. And is it a good goal? Yeah, but it's also absolutely terrible at the same time from a defensive point of view. And I'm going to break it down for you and tell you why. And as a coach, you can see this straight away. You almost know the coaching sessions that Wolves are doing, and it's so detrimental to what they're doing. Right, so let's move this forward. As we can see, we've got Saka here out on the side, and all of a sudden, we've got one guy slowing him down. Okay, great. But he's not pushing him or doing him anything to him. What does that mean? His shoulders are square, so that means his shoulders are square, so the attacker has the advantage. This guy here, this defender, isn't coming down a bit, all right? Of forcing the guy, so his shoulders are here, trying to force the guy inside, or trying to force him outside, trying to do anything. He's waiting for backup, and here comes the backup. So they're going to go 2v1 against the guy. Okay, fair. As this happens, though, watch what happens. Now they both stand there. They're not doing anything. Okay, I used to yell at players all the time about this, right? Especially youth players. Youth players, you can let them get away with it. Not older players, right? There's two players. How many footballs are there? One. So which one of you is going to win the football? Well, what happens in this situation is no one wins the football because basically each person thinks the other one's going to go and win the football. So no one does anything. It happens all the time. You get two people stood like that watching a football, neither of them go to it because they think, oh, the other one's going to do it. All the time that happens. What this guy wants to do is get away from the situation and find his space. So when he gets beat, this guy gets beat, he's there to cover his mate. He hasn't done that. Right? I mean, it's just awful. All round awful. Right? So like you can see he goes to step in to try to win the ball, right? You see he goes to step in and he just walks away into the space. Now he's pulling these two players completely and utterly out of the way. Where if one of them stood and the other, only one went, they'd be better off. But they don't understand that. They've got two players again trying to win one football. And they're just getting in each other's way. But it gets worse. So now he plays a ball around the corner. And now this is where it all starts to go horribly wrong. Watch this. 27, right? Watch him. He's with Saka here on the outside. He's marking there. Great. He's got the ball. This is a situation when you can double up because you've got one in front, this guy here, and one behind. Absolutely fine. He's holding him here. You can come in there. Absolutely great. Right? One in front, one behind. Always works. Both, no, they both get done with a bit of skill. Okay, they've both been taken out by a bit of skill. Can happen. But this is where it gets really interesting. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4 players here. Okay? And you can't see from that angle. I'm going to show you the other angle and I'm going to show you what I mean. And when I say it, you're going to go, oh, I've done those training games. Right? They're all taken out of the play from a little pass. Saka kept running. And he kicks it in the box. Right, let's watch what I'm going to show you. And this is the angle that I want to show you. And this is goes back to the basic training games that people play. Right, Bosh, here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4 players with one person in the middle. You ever done this? When the 4 people on the outside and you've got 2 people in the middle and they pass the ball around? Right, dong, right? Yeah, except for one simple factor. These idiots forget about the runner. They stop marking. So this 27 here, who was with Saka here on the outside, watch what he does. Watch what he does. So the problem when you play these little square games like this is you don't actually have to go with runners. You don't have to mark people. You just stay inside the square, and that's all these guys are doing. And the problem is it's almost instinctive. The reason you do training and you do passing patterns and you do that is so you do it automatically in a game without thinking. And that's what's happened here. Wolves have automatically gone into this shape and this thing here, and they forgot that, well, they're playing a game of football. You've got to track runners, and they don't. They all stand there, look, watching the ball. 1, 2, 3, 4 of them all around the ball, right? And they're not actually paying attention to where's the ball going to go, how we can, look at him. He's completely unmarked, this other guy over here. Absolutely unmarked. They've got 4 people chasing one ball because they're playing a little training routine when you'd have, 4 little cones, the ball would stay in the middle and everyone would pass around in this little unit here. There wouldn't be any outside runners or anything else to make the game dynamic, which is happening right here. We've got a runner, so you've got to track him. Doesn't. Watch. Here he is. He's still looking at the ball. Here's Saka, still running. They pass it to the unmarked player, still running, and he puts it in the goal. It's that easy because no one is anticipating anyone to run. No one is picking up anyone. All they're doing the whole time is focus solely on the ball, trying to win it poorly and not understanding there's a game of football going on. There's an absolute massive game of football going on, boys. Yeah, it's not just about winning the ball because they've got to pass it to players. And if you're marking the players, it's much, much harder for them to pass the ball to. But if you're stood around the ball and he can just beat you with a flick and a roll back, you're done. Yeah, it's so poor. By the way, that's the bit of a problem though, because it's a great goal by Arsenal. So here I'm ragging on the defence. They're absolutely terrible, but it was a great goal by Arsenal. Arsenal scored another great goal. Let's get on to the next one, because it's fantastic. Again, here we are in the Premier League with a player with his arms up. We know if anyone's telling someone else to mark someone and said, look, go mark him. Well, what are you marking? Why don't you get there? And by the way, this guy doesn't score, but this is a cardinal rule. If someone's pointing, telling someone else what to do in the Premier League, a goal is about to go in. Saka's got this guy over here, Boff. Not much is really happening. He just humps a ball in, nothing special, crosses it, and away it goes. All of a sudden now, though, what's happened is the whole the dynamic has shifted for Wolves. I don't know. They don't defensively. They're just kind of awful, and they're also hard. It's funny because they're also a hard team to break down, but they leave so many players unmarked, and they don't really sort of pressure the ball quick enough. Yeah, it's very, very weird the way they play. But here we go. Another man unmarked here. What ends up happening? Bosch picks the ball up. Not enough pressure on the ball. And all of a sudden, it's a quick 1-2. Bomb, bomph. Oh, but they don't ever practice 1-2s because we just pressure the ball and they don't just play a simple 1-2. All of a sudden, it's cut back and it's straight into the net box before you even know about it. It is that quick and that fast. Yeah, that quick and that fast. But let's just look at it here for a second. Before Odegaard gets the ball, I rate Odegaard. I think he's much better than people actually think. I know everyone thinks he's a good player, but I think he's better than that. But look, again, everyone is focused, looking at the ball, and here's a guy right here on top of the box, screaming for it. Absolutely screaming for it. And he gets it. And by the way, when he receives the ball, Jesus is also asking for the ball. Like, give it to me. Everyone has run away from their jobs marking. Like, they just don't have any. They're all just, dropping back, trying to, squeeze the ball, but they're not doing that properly. It's just awful. It really is. But let's get on to the last goal. Wolves are on the attack. Bit of a bundle going on here by Arsenal. Trying to pass out the back. Okay, great. Foot's on the ball. You should just be running into this area here or trying to get getting away. Now, I get that they're staying to their principles of passing out the back and doing that, but I think this is like in the 82nd. Like, there's 5 minutes to go. Sometimes when it's 5 minutes to go, when you're 2-0 up, you clear the ball. You don't want to give them a sniff if they, so you're not into a mad panic, because nowadays there's 15 minutes of extra time in every damn game, and the last thing you want is to be only up by 1 goal. This is one of the other things I wanted to sort of comment about Arsenal. Arsenal are in my top 3 to win the league, but in this game it shows you why. If they don't, there's sort of cracks in this game that's showing you why they won't do it. And the reason why they won't do it is they're not ruthless. They hit the post, I think twice, maybe 3 times in this game. They had a couple of other opportunities where they could have made this 3 and the game's over. It's out of sight. And they didn't. And if they don't have that ruthless streak when they're against like Man City or away at Tottenham or whatever, one weird game this season, or when Newcastle come and play them back at home, if they don't have that ruthless streak, they're not going to win the league. And we're going to see that. I think that's what's going to slip them up, if anything. But let's have a little look as we move this on. Bump gets caught out here because, look, watch what he ends up doing. He gives it to his teammate to take responsibility, but he can see this player is pressuring him. He can see that this is about to happen. He should have been just clearing the ball or telling his mate to clear the ball. His mate doesn't know. He's got his back to it. All of a sudden, nicks the ball, and it's a world-class finish. It actually is a world-class finish. Left foot, smashes it in there. The keeper's got no chance. To be fair, there was 3 good goals, but all of them could have been prevented with a little bit of common sense from either team. Maybe not that second goal from Arsenal, because that second goal was quite good. But again, you can't have 2 people unmarked in the box, and it's just awful. But thanks a lot. I'll see you next time on Cash Talks Football.